Hello and welcome to Sony's first ever Tech Power Hour. While we would love to see all of you in person, we're looking forward to this opportunity to connect with you virtually. For those of you who don't know me, I'm John Garmendi, Senior Manager of Business Development for Sony Electronics B2B Division. In this role, I lead Sony's team of sales support engineers and manage our architect and consultant outreach initiative. Hopefully you've had the opportunity to spend some time in our virtual booth, where you've seen our expanded line of ProBravia 4K displays, including the recently introduced 32 and 100-inch models. Our network cameras that draw on Sony's decades of expertise in the development of imaging, optics, and digital processing solutions. At this event, we're also showcasing Sony's lineup of reliable and elegantly styled laser projectors, including our newest 4K projector, the VPL GTZ380, the first 10K lumen, full P3 coverage SXRD projector in a compact form factor. We're also showing our IP-based beamforming microphone array that allows for simultaneous audio capture and sound reinforcement for flexible and creative hands-free lectures, along with our unique Edge Analytics solution that transform your visual presentation using artificial intelligence. Last, but certainly not least, we're proud to show our recently announced next generation B and C series of CLED DirectView LED solutions that provide stunning images and installation flexibility. While Sony has always been known for our products and solutions and is consistently recognized as an innovator in the technology space, our real strength is our people. Sony's focus on our customers is differentiated by our talented group of sales support engineers, a dedicated team that provide technical support to our channel partners, end users, and consultants. I'm proud to introduce the team now. Karim Springer in the Eastern Zone, Jason Metcalf in the South, Chrissy Sarah in the Central, and Kiana Pumpa in the West. Please stay tuned as each provides an in-depth look at specific areas of our technology.
Hello, my name is Kiana Pompa, your friendly neighborhood sales support engineer. I hope you all had the chance to hear about the exciting new additions to our ProBravia display lineup. I'd like to take this opportunity to deep dive into a specific solution now possible thanks to our System on Chip technology. SoC stands for System on Chip, which is a powerful processor enclosed inside all of our ProBravia displays. They have become increasingly popular due to the fact that they replace a traditional playback device, its cables, and ultimately fewer points of failure. With the help of SoC, I'm excited to share the new Bravia Web Control UI service that can control your ProBravia display from any web browser. This makes it easier than ever to monitor, control, and troubleshoot your display. Let's head over to the Bravia Knowledge Center where we can find a step-by-step guide on how to get started. To access the Bravia Knowledge Center, please use pro-bravia.sony.net. Under the Guides tab, you'll find a step-by-step guide on how to get started with Bravia Web Control UI. Most importantly, it will give you the URL address needed to access the web interface. I already have the display running so that we could go through the settings together based on common requests that most integrators and end users need. On this new tab, you'll see that I selected the IP address /Sony/Web UI just like we saw on the previous page. It'll take you directly to the status page where it'll give you device information like your model number, serial number, software version, and device ID. To make this demonstration even easier, what I will do is place this Bravia Web Control UI along with a mirror image of my Bravia display here in my office. You'll see on the right-hand side, this is the mirror image, and you can confirm based on its IP address, its device ID, and serial number that all match. So let's take this for a spin. Say, for example, I select HDMI 3. You'll see that reflected on the right-hand side. There's currently no signal, but you'll see that the HDMI 3 is selected. Say, for example, let's go back to home. We can even use the arrows here, left to right. We can even, have volume control, volume up, for example, or even mute. And we even have some power control as well over here. If we go back to the navigation pane, click on Basic Settings. This tab will allow you to adjust common settings like enabling RS-232, changing the network, or power control. Most of the time, people want to disable Adult TV Power Off, which is enabled by default. Let's go ahead and select Off, then click Apply, and you'll see that reflection on my right-hand side while it's applying. Let's go ahead and confirm that in case you don't trust it. I'll scroll down to our system under Power and Energy, and they should match. So you'll see after applying those settings on the Bravia Web Control UI, power saving is off and so is Idle TV Power off. Going back to the navigation pane, we can click on Pro Settings. This is the area where you have access to all professional settings. Let's first set up Wave On Signal. This will automatically turn on the display and switch inputs based on HDMI signal. Currently it's disabled. Let's switch over to Always Enabled. Now let's scroll down and you'll see all of the different settings you have access to. I mean, the list goes on and on. Home key behavior, account expiration. Say if you have multiple users and you don't want them to have your account information, whether that be Google, Netflix, YouTube, what have you, every time the display powers on or off, it'll expire. We have a way to lock out this pro mode. Again, so many different features, but one of the most common ones is if we scroll down to periodic restart. Let's go ahead and enable that daily. This is very requested just because, again, we are system on chip. That means we are an operating system. So it's always beneficial to at least periodically restart your display just to clear the functionality, the cache, the memory, etc. So I'll go ahead and leave it default at 12 a.m., making sure that it doesn't disrupt anyone that may be currently in an office, conference room, education space, what have you. I just think it's very beneficial to enable this functionality. As we keep scrolling down, again, display and remote controls, external inputs if you'd like to disable them. Keep going down. This is another really important section on apps. This is where we disable or enable applications you don't want to see on the home screen. So you'll see all of the apps I currently have installed. Most of the time, end users and integrators like to disable applications like YouTube or, say, for example, media players and Netflix. In this scenario, let's go ahead and disable Chromecast built-in just for an example. And we're pretty much done. So all we have to do is click Apply. And just like that, we successfully set up the display via a web browser remotely. The best part is if we click on the Maintenance tab, we can export all of the settings we currently configured and then import to any displays that might be on your network. This makes it easier than ever to set up your display. The Bravia Knowledge Center will give you all the detailed requirements on the compatible models that accept exporting. It will also show a settings tree that specifies the settings that get exported when using this functionality. Let me show you where you can find it. If we go to Actions, Export Pro Settings, you'll see detailed guides and step-by-steps. But most importantly, if you select on the Settings table, you'll see USB export. You'll see info banner. This is not a selected option. But if I scroll down, say for example, if we have external inputs, you'll see that this is something that is exported over USB stick by the checkmark integration. And that's pretty much it. I really hope that you enjoyed learning about this exciting new solution, and thanks for stopping by.
Hybrid presentation spaces are here, and Sony's Professional Solutions of America's B2B product portfolio is here to support. I'm Chrissy Sarah, Sales Support Engineer B2B for the Midwest Territory. I'm going to spend some time discussing our hands-free solution offerings that include our Edge Analytics System, PTZ network cameras, our beamforming microphone, and our ProBravia displays. Let's begin. Say we have a presenter who needs to lecture on a topic to both a physically present audience and a virtually present audience. The presenter is physically present and wishes to interact with all persons from the front of the room. The room is, say, 200-person auditorium with the front of the room being on ground level. Using our Edge unit, paired with a Sony PTZ camera, we will be able to automatically track the presenter as they speak in front of the room. This system can be placed anywhere from 17 feet to 96 feet away from the presenter to camera lens, and once Edge PTZ auto tracking feature is engaged, the presenter simply walks and talks, no need for any extra devices to be worn or specific audio placement for tracking purposes. This provides us our first camera output in our scenario. Next, we have a second Edge unit paired with a 4K PTZ camera on stage pointed towards the audience. Using Edge's close-up by gesture feature, and as long as the audience member stands to speak, our second shot will pick up a close-up shot of an audience member while they speak or ask their question. When the person sits back down, the Edge defaults to a wide shot of the audience as a whole. This would be our second camera output. By showing audience members' face during the interaction, it's helping the virtual audience feel included in the discussion. Additionally, for the audience present, this signal can be routed to additional screens so those who are not sitting close to the question asker can see who is speaking. So we have two camera shots in the place. Next, we have audio to capture audience and presenter audio. Enter Sony's MASA 100 beamforming microphone. Using our beamforming microphone calculator and room dimensions, we can type in the information and determine how many microphones we would need for the space at hand, and in our scenario, we have the audience interacting. So we'd want to include the space above the audience in our calculations. Once we have everything installed and connected, the beamforming microphone will be able to pick up both the speaker and audience members' audio at the given time they speak. Our Sony beamforming microphone has noise reduction to reduce the microphone's ability to pick up, say, rustling papers or people getting in and out of their seats for better voice lift and record. This is our hands-free audio solution, therefore no need for a presenter or audience member to hold or wear a microphone. This output would be best routed both into the room's loudspeaker system and to the video call platform. Next, let's make sure everyone in the room can see each other. We have three needs to address: the presenter to see all the students, both virtual and present. We have the physically present audience who need to see the presenter, and the virtually present audience who need to see the presenter and the physically present audience. Let's start with the presenter. We're going to place two 55-inch ProBravia displays on stage facing the presenter and route our video call feed to these displays. This would allow the presenter to see those on the call, and then let's now consider the physical audience that needs to see the presenter clearly no matter where they are in place in the room. We'll place four 85-inch ProBravia displays around the room showcasing the Edge PTZ auto tracking feed. Lastly, the virtual audience, depending on the video call platform used, would give you the option to manually switch between your two camera outputs, Edge PTZ and Edge Close-Up by Gesture. You could also program this through a third-party control device, or simply send the output by combining the two feeds into a video switcher that would output a single program feed. Either option does require a discussion on who would be doing the output switching. After making sure everyone in the room can see each other, we need to make sure everyone in the room can hear each other. All that is left is to route the video call audio output into the room's pre-existing sound system and route the lecture hall audio into the video call application in this scenario. For both audio and video applications here, we need devices that take in and transport these signals virtually. Our options include a virtual webcam driver for our edge feeds and the use of the Dante Virtual Sound Card for the microphone audio. And there you have it, a hands-free audio and video presentation solution using our Sony B2B product line. Of course, you could always add more. A few other options would be that if an in-person audience member needed to see the presenter closer up, they could log into the video call on their own device, and if the room has a previous projector screen, we can route the program feed to the screen for IMAG purposes. Another option would be if the presenter has a whiteboard or blackboard that they wish to use for their presentation, we could use the original PTZ tracking edge system, second input and output, attach a point of view camera, activate the edge's handwriting extraction feature, and this would capture what's happening on the whiteboard and create a digital overlay of the text on video. During setup, we can change the opacity to show more or less of the presenter, and this final output would be yet another way to help the virtual audience feel more included. At this point, we would be outside of our original hands-free solution because we would now have 3 HDMI or USB inputs into our video call, so I would recommend upgrading the solution with a third-party video switcher and/or hire a technician to switch between the different camera looks. Another option would be, instead of using PTZ auto tracking for the original presenter tracking feature, use focus area cropping. This is one of Edge's other AI features where you'd see a nice wide shot and the Edge would track the person within the wide shot, providing you 2 outputs that happen to automatically switch between the wide shot and the close-up shot. One last thought and then I will let you go. Let's say the presenter has the option to stay at home or present from a remote location. We'd leave the setup in the auditorium and we could set up the presenter with their own PTZ camera and Edge combo. And on the Edge, launch our last remaining feature called Chroma Keyless CG Overlay, and this would allow the presenter to create a robust virtual space inside their home office that provides a professional output, including being able to key out any background, the ability to add a PowerPoint or product demo camera feed, position themselves in front of or beside their PowerPoint, and then place an additional overlay so that it could look like they're speaking from a news desk or a conference room table, etc. This feed can then be routed to a video call and everyone can see the presenter as they would in our previous scenario. The presenter would then be able to conduct themselves while they are virtual in an in-person and virtual audience space. If you'd like to brainstorm with me or another Sony B2B sales support engineer, feel free to reach out to us on a platform provided. I'll catch you later.
Hi everyone, my name is Jason Metcalf and I'm the South Region Sales Engineer for Sony's B2B Professional Solutions. Today, I would like to talk in a little more detail about our exciting upcoming additions to our Crystal LED family of direct view displays and discuss how our technology can provide unique benefits to three key vertical markets. As you've no doubt seen today, or will see soon, Sony's direct view displays provide unrivaled image performance, primarily enabled by our micro-LED based design. By utilizing some of the smallest diodes available on the market, we are able to leverage the physical advantages of micro-LED. For instance, a very high contrast ratio due to the very small LED package size, or the ability to maintain highly accurate color even at very wide viewing angles. The ability to provide a resilient surface that is highly resistant to damage because of the encapsulated LED mounting process. The ability to realize this level of picture performance in a scalable display means that our display technology can be adapted to almost any environment. That means any environment can become an immersive visual experience showcasing the power of your brand, transporting your audience to another place and time, or acting as the link between your team and a virtual space. Sony's Crystal LED display is widely known for its captivating, reality-creating capability, and the two new additions to this product family are no different. While this performance lends itself well to breathtaking lobby and experiential displays, retail applications, and digital signage, Crystal LED has also provided huge advantages as a high-performance display supporting the workflows of several verticals, each highly focused on accurate image performance, and it's those applications that I'd like to discuss in more detail. The first of which is the post-production and theatrical review space, where the scalable nature of the display and its ability to maintain performance at any system size is causing creatives to look at new workflows and providing previously unseen advantages to the critical review process. Because we can meet the high level of accuracy and consistency required in critical review, content creators and post-production facilities are starting to rethink their current projection-based workflows and in turn are standardizing on emissive technologies to realize performance as well as operational benefits. Why maintain multiple screens with different projection and display technologies when every review room display could emulate all necessary deliverable environments? This is the key advantage that Crystal LED brings to critical review, and it really opens the door to operational efficiencies that are currently impossible with the technology that are being used today. In addition, large, accurate displays with wide viewing angles provide the ability for larger groups to collaborate on creative projects in a way that they really have never before. Several high-profile film and TV projects have already benefited from the advantages this technology brings, and we're looking forward to supporting many more in the near future. Like post-production, visualization applications depend highly on accurate and reliable image performance. The ability to render color in a wide color gamut dependably provides consistent analysis and opens new pathways to render and analyze even larger and more complex datasets. Crystal LED's advanced signal processing and precise LED control are uniquely capable of realizing accurate color and gradation even at the lowest luminance levels. Our fully integrated calibration process helps maintain perfect uniformity and color matching, while our high-performance processor is capable of up to 60 Hz per eye active 3D for visualization and industrial design applications that require it. Large emissive displays have become highly popular in this space for many of the same reasons as post-production. Many designers and analysts can collaborate while working from the same large display, viewing the same content, and maintaining the same highly accurate viewing experience from almost any point in the room. In the film and TV space, LED is rapidly becoming a standard element on every set. The advantages of virtual production or in-camera VFX are highly desirable, from creating more realistic on-set environments, to more efficient workflows, to providing creatives with flexibility and unlimited new potential. Sony's Crystal LED B series was designed with creatives in mind. Wide viewing angles allow for more flexible camera movement. Fine pitch reduces moire while increasing the sense of realism and allowing the camera to get closer to the LED wall. Fine control of LED refresh rate eliminates issues with scan lines, and a wide color gamut with accurate tracking provides more flexibility in matching display to camera color. As the virtual production space continues to evolve, we are having ongoing discussions with creatives from many different areas to ensure that we're meeting their needs and continuing to develop and provide solutions that can support their vision. I hope this brief overview was beneficial and has given you a sense of how Sony's DirectView LED displays can provide increased performance to a variety of specialized applications. We are constantly looking for new ways to push the boundaries of what LED technology is capable of and where it can be applied. If you have a need or simply want to discuss more, please get in contact and we'd be more than happy to talk with you. I hope you have a great time at the rest of our show, and I look forward to engaging with you more. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for joining me today. My name is Karim Springer, the Sales Support Engineer for the Northeast Territory. And today we'll be demoing the VPL PAZ60 projector and its Web UI control feature. The PAZ50, which is our 5K lumens projector, and the PAZ60, which is our 6K lumens projector, are specifically designed for mid-sized classroom and meeting room applications. The biggest advantage of these two compact projectors is their capability to deliver high picture quality, reliability, and flexible installations. These projectors come equipped with several enhanced features, such as the 55% vertical lens shift, a 4K to Full HD scaler, as well as features which were standard on previous models, such as reality creation and intelligent settings. Now, before we get into the Web UI control interface for the PAZ60, let's take a close look at the projector's chassis and input locations. As you can see here on the front of the chassis, you have your manual, zoom, and focus. Your manual, horizontal, and vertical shifts. And your I/O inputs, which will be in the back. You have an analog audio input and an analog audio output, two HDMI inputs, a port connector for RGB, USB connections, one local area network port, and an HD-Base-T port. Now, let's take a look at the Web UI interface for the PAZ60. Okay, now let's take a look at the web user interface and how we get to that. The first thing you want to do, you want to make sure you place both the projector and your PC both on the same subnet. Once they're placed on the same subnet, you then want to enter in the IP address of the projector into a Chrome browser. The way you configure your IP address is in the network settings under the menu for your projector. I have everything set up here, so at this point, you want to enter in your IP address. I already have it saved. And then you'll have your web interface communication between your PC and your projector. At this point, you'll notice that I have several tabs up top. Starting with information, gives me general information of the PAZ60, the model name, serial number, current firmware version, MAC address, as well as the IP address, which is a static IP address that I set myself, and your light timer, which is all the way at the bottom. To the right of that column, you have status, which indicates the power on status, the current input that you have selected, as well as error status at the bottom. For control, gives you tons of layer of control here through the web interface. You can actually power on your projector. Below that, you have all your inputs that you could toggle in between straight from the web UI. To the middle of that particular column, you have picture mute, your digital and vertical zoom, and horizontal and vertical keystones, as well as your volume mic level gain. For menu, this allows you to toggle through the menu selections of your projector. But please note that the menu selection is only going to be viewed on the projector's output. It won't be seen on the web user interface. However, you can toggle through the selections straight from the web user interface. Under settings, you have host name that you can set up yourself, your static IP address, or you can set it to DHCP. To the bottom, you have administrator communications that you can set up for username and password. To the right of that column, you have your firmware upload. This is where you'll actually do your firmware upgrades. And last but not least, within this particular selection, you have the ability of setting your date and time. On the email report, this gives you the ability to actually send out an email notification to a field technician to notify them that there's an alert or an alarm that's been raised on the projector itself. Scrolling over a little bit more, you have the ability of setting ADCP services, advertisement, PJ Talk, and PG Link for communication, DDP Crestron control for communication with a Crestron controller, and certificate communication and authentication. You still have the ability of setting the SNMP services. And the last tab here gives you the ability of doing a complete factory reset of the projector itself. With that, concludes my presentation of the VPL-PAZ60 web user interface. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here today. I trust you had the opportunity to learn more about some specific technical aspects of Sony's professional products, as well as some of the unique applications of each. Should you have a question about any of the products or solutions you heard about today, I'd like to invite you to network and chat live with the team. Or please, feel free to reach out to me or any one of the sales support engineers to continue the conversation beyond this showcase. On behalf of the business development team and Sony's senior management, I wish to thank you for your time and participation.